But when Harry Soy came to Melbourne in 1977, he was reading from his notes, which he later made into a diary of his last days with Srila Prabhupada, which would have been like probably up to about April, May, something I wouldn't know for sure, when Prabhupada sent him to Australia to be GBC when Bali Madan left. He didn't leave of his own accord, but that's another story. Bali Madan came in after Madhavisa left in 76 or something, whatever it was. But somehow in there, Guru Kripa was the GBC as well. So it's a big story and a great adventure, transcendental adventure as Korma calls it. But Hari Soy is reading from his notes, and I picked up on one thing, that Prabhupada was actually asking for milk. He was ill, and he was asking for milk, right? So we know milk is a wonderful thing, and but here was Prabhupada he was ill, and he wanted milk, and pretty much just milk. And later on now I can read in the conversations all the connections and how many times he said it, in what particular circumstances, and it seems to be a vein that he was going through right up to his passing away. He really just wanted milk. He said, in India, the sages and sadhus, so many of them, they just live on milk. They live in the forest. What is there to eat? There's, the king maybe gives them some cows or something, and they have some milk. Whatever fruits are on the trees, like that. Anyway, I was kind of into a health kind of a thing. And I have to say that, it's not easy to be like an Akandika brahmachari, where you don't lose your vital force at any time. But somehow or another it's Kali Yuga, and you think things and you dream things at night, and you lose that vital energy. So that is actually a very has a very debilitating effect on the health. You don't feel it much when you're young, but when you're older, it's quite dramatic. So I was thinking, and I probably was talking about milk, and I'd also read in the Ayurveda somewhere where it had said milk is assimilated very, very easily within 24 hours, and it turns into rasa, which is a primary constituent of blood. So I thought, wow, sounds like a fresh blood supply to me. So I had this idea that Prabhupada wanted to live on milk, and that sounds attractive to me too, or at least to have more milk in the diet. So after Melbourne, came to Sydney for the full set program, and then I was having this, we were just trying to figure it out. It was like a whole year. We went to Encyclopedia Britannica, but after that we were on our own 2 feet, and we had to figure out, actually how to adapt that to Srila Prabhupada's book. So everyone, you might like to say, found excuses and another service to do, and there was really only myself and actually Bhugapati at the time, maybe Prahlad Bhakta, I can't remember exact circumstances. So even after a while, Bhugapati went back to the street, distribute books on the street, right? So I was really just trying to figure out how to do it. And but at the same time, you go to the temple, you have a temple breakfast, khichdi, globs of butter on it, puris, maybe some halva, leftover maha, and you'd get out there and you'd start to feel sleepy, you'd crash out for a while, either in the park or in the car or something like that, and then you'd get up, all sort of like fuzzy and blurry-eyed and, confused and everything like that. You'd have to sort of try to do your service, I was trying to figure out. Actually, at the time I was writing a book we called it Selling the Full Set or something. No, I forget what it was called. Our experiences in trying to sell the set. And Encyclopedia Britannica, most of it was that kind of a bit of speculation. It was only the end bit, which was actually really good, which gave transcriptions of our actual encounters with people and selling them sets of books, and the lines we used, and that. So anyway, I made this kind of idea, I've got to get away from breakfast. We know what it's like. You go to the temple, you have the morning program, the breakfast is late on. Who can refuse? You know, you'd have to be different, you know, to separate yourself and do your own thing, right? And even then, who knows if it's prasadam, you know. So, but anyway, I made this resolve. I'm not going to breakfast. I'm going down to the shop on the corner. I'm going to buy a litre of milk. I'm going to heat it up and drink that. The very first time I did that, I felt fantastic. I thought, yeah, this is it, you know. I felt light all during the day. I could think properly. I could do service, and later on in the afternoon, when I started getting a bit peckish, I could have some khichdi, which was then being served in the kundas out the back, and left over from breakfast. And it tasted so good, you know, because when you're hungry, Prabhupada says anything tastes good. So I thought, this is really, really good. So, you know, meanwhile we were selling the sets. I had this kind of thing that I'd visit maybe one person a day, but I'd get the best lead lined up, or a backup in case the person wasn't home, and I wouldn't eat anything the whole day. Maybe that milk in the morning, the milk, but nothing to eat. And then even after a while, I don't think I was having milk, I can't remember, but I was paranoid that I wouldn't be fully focused, you know, if I'd eat something. So I'd go and sell the books, and pretty much, I must admit, I'm not saying I was anyone special, but it worked. You know, you just wouldn't take no for an answer. And they'd have all the excuses, and you knew what they were. And when it came down to it, how could somebody who had any interest in Christian consciousness refuse to have a set of these books, the opportunity to have a set of these books in their home for, you know, maybe something like $1 a day it would cost over a period of whatever it was. I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have milk from our own cows? You know, not just from a health point of view, but from a moral point of view. So I had it in the back of my mind, if ever I get a chance to go to New Govardhan, that'd be good. So Krishna made the arrangements, and, you know, somehow or another, you know, things didn't work out with the local management. And I was shown the door. It was all a very bitter pill to swallow at the time, and, you know, I was feeling sorry for myself for a good year for a while there, but then somehow or another, Krishna made the arrangement. Some devotee invited me up around that way, and there was a sannyasi. He's now deceased. He actually didn't take sannyas from Srila Prabhupada, and it wasn't initiated by Srila Prabhupada, but he was initiated by one of Prabhupada's disciples preaching in South America. And he decided to come to Australia to preach, so he'd set up a place in Newtown, and things didn't work out with the local temple, so he moved up to a place called Ocean Shores, which is near, you know, half an hour or so below Moranbah.